2, 1, start.
Yo, people, lateness is greatness. Welcome back to the YouTube channel. You already know what time it is. It's time for your weekly show, Battle of the North. Battle of the North is back, and damn, has it taken a twist, a little turn for the worse, potentially. Do you know what I'm saying? Don Husam, I'm going to have to lead with you, sir. This is football. Mystic Mike. Make sure you run them spaces. Don Husam. So how are you doing today, man? You've had a wonderful weekend, I'm sure.
My brother, finally we have made it. This is the first episode of Battle of the North where I'm actually the winner. The first time, you know, because this guy right here drew, that guy right there lost. You, Matisse, you won, but it's not the North, innit? You two educated me on UK geography, you know. London is not in the North. So I'm very happy we won, you know. We won. Why are you wearing a suit, though? I just noticed. Is this like a resemblance of something?
I'm just wearing a suit because that's what I was wearing today on a shoot. But why can't you copy and paste the link? But why not?
Guys, listen to me. Let's let the comment section judge. Let's let the comment section. You judge if I'm wrong or Matisse is wrong. What's easier? Matisse to DM me the link on Twitter, or I copy paste the link, email it to myself, log into my email.
Hold on.
This takes 2 seconds.
Hold on. Easier for who? Yeah, but this is the thing. Easier for who?
The thing is,
for
Husam,
everyone.
Husam, you don't even have to do it. No, Husam.
It's easiest. The easiest thing for Matisse is he puts it in the group and we deal with it.
Husam, you don't even have to do the email thing. You know what you can do? You can copy and paste it, and then you can send it to Matisse on Twitter or me or whoever, and then it's there.
So I copy
in your
paste it and send it to Matisse.
Yes,
you can just send it to yourself.
You can just send it to yourself.
Okay, so guys, I was on a couple shoots, right? We have a group chat. I put the link in every week. Just put it in. Everybody just do as you please. Put it onto whatever device you need. But Husam can't copy and paste the link for himself to send it to himself or send it wherever he needs to whatever device he's using to jump on this show, because I don't know. He doesn't know what buttons to press. This is meant to be your cooking session, and now you're going to get cooked for not being able to copy and paste. It's a disgrace.
I can't copy and paste, but I can get 3 points. That's what matters.
And also, he knows what buttons to press as well. Trust me, this guy knows what buttons to press 100%.
Yeah, man.
If you were 65 and over, if you were 65 and over, then fair enough. I'd be like, okay, maybe he doesn't know how to use the technology. Do you know what I'm saying? It is what it is. Yeah, I did come into the group chat, and there was like, me and Flawless just looked, and there was like 55. I didn't even listen through all their voice notes. These men have still not stopped arguing after the full-time whistle was blown. Daps, never a foul. I mean, that was definitely demonstrated in that game because, you know, Bernardo Silva was moving like a mad little man out on that pitch. Do you know what I'm saying? I've never seen somebody with so much pent-up aggression. I don't know. You know,
he hates them, innit? He hates Liverpool. He just hates them. I get it. Listen, he lives in the centre of Manchester. I get it. Innit? Like if you live in Manchester, you don't really like the Scousers. You know what? Sometimes it takes players longer to understand. He's got on board very early. He's always hated the Scousers. I understand it totally, completely understand it.
It's like being a Battle of the North, disliking the Sun. You know what I'm saying? It goes hand in hand. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it is. You know what I'm saying?
But listen, it's not Battle of the North today. It's Rattle of the North.
Rattle of the North.
Expect me to get rattled. I will.
Really? Out the doors, you're already exposing your weaknesses. Moving like Cancelo.
No. Everyone knows my weaknesses, so I get rattled very easily. It's cool. I'm a very passionate person.
All right, I'm going to call you Daps Cancelo today. All right, big up. Flawless.
No, Daps.
Flawless. Do you know what I'm saying? Sarcasm City TV, Mr. Take Note. What are you saying? Boring draw. I didn't get to see your game, so I'm going to need you to tell me what the hell happened out there later on. But how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good, man. Always blessed. Always look forward to this show. It's a great way to start the week, innit? Like I legit, like it's great. The panelists on here, I was saying the chat, like always love for having me, Matisse. Much appreciated. Always good to see Husam. Always good to see Daps. Again, big up the chat, and I genuinely enjoy this show. So I'm looking forward to it. I am.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it as well. I mean, you know, as the host, you know what I'm
Lawless is
saying?
looking forward to it. Suddenly, it's 1-0 to Man United. Go on, Matisse, what are you saying?
This guy hilarious.
Husam, I have to let you take the stage because
Yes.
you man got it spot on. You tactically, you know, took over that match. I thought it was a good game of football that could have, you know, it could have maybe Man City could have got something on another day. But you guys, everybody wrote you off, including myself. I have to hold my hands up. I thought you guys were going to hold corn. I thought you was going to lose 3-1. That was my prediction. You guys, you dealt with them. You didn't play Nunez. Credit to Klopp. He put Salah in the center of attention, put him in the middle, gave him the opportunity and the license to cause problems, to run him behind. He had multiple chances. And the back line, no Trent, no problem. Milner, Gomez, Van Dijk, bro, take it away, man. I got a lot of praise for you. I'm not going to lie. I got this one very wrong. I got this wrong.
First of all, I want to say
So did Pep.
I myself predicted a Man City win, so I think it's not that crazy. I just logically going into that game, everyone thought Man City is going to win, and the Liverpool fans that I knew that said Liverpool were going to win was all based on hope. Like there was no real tactical reason or some shit. They were just hopeful. Maybe we get something. Maybe this happens. Maybe that happens. But at the end of the day, we won, and we were the deserved winners. We have to give credit to Jurgen Klopp in this game because he's someone that's been criticized and rightfully criticized this season. But yesterday, leading up to the game, I said I don't think he has the balls to actually play pragmatic and play a bit defensive. But I think he showed yesterday he's willing to change, and he actually played a lot more pragmatically. So Milner and Robertson weren't 70 yards up the pitch. We didn't play a high line. We set up a lot more defensively. I thought dropping Henderson was 100% the correct decision to go with, because, you know, Matisse, remember last season, we spoke about this in the City game, you know. I think Jota now is no longer a weakness from that sense, because it's clear he's really worked and improved on his passing side of the game. I think people who have watched Liverpool consistently will tell you Jota has definitely improved a lot in that department. And look, for two lines that have to get the credit above everything else. And that's the midfield, first of all, because Thiago and Fabinho went up against arguably the best midfield in the world and definitely the best midfield in the Premier League, and they didn't get change out of them. Thiago and Fabinho, two by themselves against three, literally ate them alive. Thiago and Fabinho yesterday played the game of their lives, were far high up the pitch, far defending when they needed to defend. They just did everything that you'd expect a box-to-box typical midfielder to do. Yesterday, they both played the box-to-box role. Suddenly, I'm seeing Fabinho on the right wing. Like, they just attacked and defended with everything. The two centre-backs as well, massive credit to Virgil van Dijk and Gomez. Virgil van Dijk yesterday, he didn't defend with his perfume smell. He didn't defend with his aura. He actually defended like a proper defender. He defended tackling, headers, everything that he needed to do on the pitch. And people are saying Van Dijk pocketed Haaland. The thing is, Gomez pocketed Haaland, which I think is even like, it's a bit mad because Joe Gomez was looked at even from our own fan base as a bit of a weakness when it comes to the centre backs. Like, we were all a lot more confidence with a Matip or a Konate, but Joe Gomez had the game of his life yesterday, and you know, absolutely rolled back the years to that 1920 season, the infamous partnership. So defensively, we're unreal. Offensively, I lost my mind when we kept getting those chances and missing the Jota header twice, the Salah chance which Ederson saved is just so annoying. But then here we have to now, I'm so happy Matisse mentioned Cancelo, because all I ask always is keep the same energy. Because if that was a certain guy, which I will not mention, getting done that way, headlines immediately. Oh, can't defend. This is a right winger that pushed him off the way and went and scored the goal. That's what Cancelo did in that game, you know, was just a weakness throughout. I thought Ruben Diaz had a poor game. The one guy, one City player I'll give credit to is Rodri. I thought Rodri had a great game. I think he was their best player in my opinion. Ederson as well was really good. But, you know, Kevin De Bruyne, Bernardo Silva, the Haalands, the great players, Phil Foden getting pocketed by Milner is another thing as well.
Hold on, I've heard it twice now. Sorry, I've got to stop. Sorry, I know you do Twitter a lot and you do spaces, bro, but can we put some context around pocketed? Like, I need to understand what pocketed means, because, like, for me, I get what you're saying. Look, but I'm not going to say, and I'm not taking any credit away from your defense, right? And I would say out of the two, it was Gomez. You know, Van Dijk let Gomez do most of the Haaland work, right? Milner was great. Robertson, I think, hasn't been spoke about. Robertson coming back massive. But this pocketed thing, if Haaland was getting chances and just wasn't clinical enough, is that Haaland being pocketed or Haaland not being clinical enough?
I don't think Haaland got any crystal clear.
Oh, he didn't have any chances, no? Okay.
He had a half chance in the second half, the one that Alisson saved.
What, the header?
And the first half of the header, yeah. But I don't think those are crystal clear goals.
Well, I mean, the header was poor defending. He managed to get away from his defender. Is that pocketing?
Oh, that was one moment. But the rest of the game, he was pocketed.
Oh, so
the definition of pocketed is what Gomez did to Haaland. That's the definition.
Okay, fair enough. I mean, you do
or what Thiago did to Kevin De Bruyne with Fabinho. I think, look...
Thiago one's a great shout.
I loved everything about that game. Even the Klopp red card. Like, it's just, you know, people always make the joke that, Liverpool love being the underdogs. Yesterday, we were the underdogs. It wasn't an act. We really were the underdogs yesterday. Even the crowd, like, were so active, like we really were the underdogs. And the Klopp red card just channeling back the Dortmund days. You know, Pep riled up. It was a proper Liverpool City game. And we kept a clean sheet as well, which is something that if you told me you're going to keep a clean sheet against Man City, I would have laughed straight in your face. So we did something extremely unexpected. And we performed unbelievably well, and credit to Klopp and all the players, 11 warriors on the pitch. The only negative from my side is Nunez, to be honest with you. Well, we'll get to that later on.
Yeah, we'll get into that because for now, I think it's important to praise who needs to be praised. I mean, Flawless, do you not feel that Haaland and Kevin De Bruyne were nullified? If we don't want to call it pocketed, would you not say nullified? Because when they kept putting the ball into the box, 9 times out of 10, it was dealt with by Gomez and Van Dijk. And it's almost like they forced the pass to Haaland maybe too much. And there was a point where Gundogan could have played in Foden and Haaland played in Foden as well. And it was short and he couldn't strike it with his left foot. I think sometimes there was opportunities to play in Foden or play in others. But because they wanted to get the ball to Haaland, which is understandable, he's the best striker out there right now. I think they over-forced it towards him when there was actually space for others, which is not something they usually do because people have been feasting upon the over attention that Haaland's been getting. But in this game, I felt like decision-making could have been a slightly bit better. I don't know what you thought, Flawless.
Yeah, and it's not something you associate with Manchester City, especially going forward, is their attackers not making the right decisions. They're the best team in the league at being precise. So yeah, I think pocketed is too far, but Daps has already mentioned it. It's Twitter. Of course, people are going to go over the top because it's rivals and that, but nullified it's very tough to pocket a top quality player. So nullified, I think, is the fair word. Liverpool did defend well, but also I think you would agree with this, that your attacking players, none of them were at their best. Like Haaland, De Bruyne, and Foden were at their best. So yeah, nullified's fair.
The one for me, the De Bruyne one's spot on. I think Thiago nullified De Bruyne. Like fully agree with that. That was very clever. The whole De Bruyne thing, putting Thiago on him, that was nullified. I think you're spot on with that. I also think you're spot on with the decision making. Like when Haaland put in Foden, I don't think necessarily it was the right choice. If it was too late, and it wasn't. There wasn't enough weight on the pass. It wasn't right. It's strange because going into the game, I've been saying how the difference in a game like this, because going into this game, the mental side of me was still worried. Right, me and Steve spoke about it. We were both still worried deep down because this was still a game against Liverpool at Anfield. And let's get it right. Arsenal fans will talk about beating Liverpool. United fans will talk about beating Liverpool, but that wasn't at Anfield, and that is relevant, yeah, especially with our record at Anfield. But when I was doing the maths in my head, it was like the mental side's taken over. Let's do the maths. Their defense is looking bad, and they've got injuries. Milner's starting on the right. Midfield-wise, they've looked poor all season. I'm not going to knock their front line. Their front line's been good anyway, and they're always going to... You put the ball in front of Salah, he's going to score. But I was thinking, there's no way we can lose this game. And even more so, we got Haaland now. And Haaland doesn't have this mentality thing with Liverpool. He ain't never experienced that, right? Yesterday, Haaland just looked a little bit off the boil. He looked like maybe some of the... I don't know, maybe he picked up some nerves in the dressing room or something that for once, City feel a little bit different because Haaland didn't look as confident. He looked, I think you're spot on. At times it looked a little bit forced. It did. There was like, I'm sure we'll bounce back from it. And this is, for me, I was saying to you last week, Matisse, this is going to get very boring, isn't it? Well, it's not boring now.
Not boring anymore, is
Not
it?
boring anymore. Not boring anymore.
It's
But I
not
do have to
boring
give Liverpool
anymore.
credit.
Because now you man are 4 points behind, isn't it? Is it 4 points behind?
Yeah, and I think
Fucking
Liverpool.
Arsenal as well,
Yeah.
man.
I mean, that's relevant. I was saying yesterday, honestly, Amazon documentary, Amazon, if you're out there, yeah, get City and Arsenal involved. Start filming from the 1st of January. City give Arsenal like a 12-point lead and watch Pep gobble up Arteta and Arsenal. So
Wow,
They will.
okay.
But
for
this
me,
is
isn't-
it's a minor blip, man. It's
I
a minor
don't
blip.
think this impacts City. I've always said a couple, like every season we've won the league, including 100 points, including the domestic treble, including every time we've retained it. We've never gone unbeaten. We've always lost games. So losing to Liverpool at Anfield, I don't feel
It's
is
one of those
gonna-
games, isn't it? Yeah.
But the one thing I would say is, if this takes me back to Real Madrid in the Champions League, me and Steve and Imran met this Atletico Madrid fan in a wheelchair outside a kebab shop late at night after the game. And he kind of looked at us and said, "You're City fans?" And we said, "Yeah." He said, the first leg, he said, Real Madrid in the Champions League, if you're 2 goals up, not enough. 3 goals up, not enough. 4 goals, not enough. Every single nail needs to be put in that coffin so they ain't coming back in the second leg. And I feel like yesterday we had an opportunity to, I've been waxing lyrical about it all year, that still the one team that worry me in a title race would be Liverpool. And yesterday we had a chance to put another nail in the Liverpool coffin. And I think that's more
I
important.
think the nail, probably the nail, isn't it?
Potentially, I mean, 17 points between them and Arsenal if we would have, yeah, and we didn't do that. And the question is, like, again, Liverpool have bounced back against Bournemouth. They've bounced back against Glasgow Rangers. But the difference is they just beat an informed City yesterday. And if they're going to take confidence from anything, it's going to be that game. And it's just, we should have killed them off and said, you know what, we don't need to worry about them for the rest of the season. Whereas now, who knows? When it gets to April, May, it might be Liverpool might still be there. I'm not ruling Liverpool out, especially not after yesterday. And I do need to a few things. We'll probably talk on them. In my opinion, the Foden disallowed goal, I get it. Should have been disallowed. For me, as a striker in the box, right? You know that there's cameras on you, and after every goal, VAR is going to look at anything, right? So if you know the cameras are going to be on you, then having a tug for 1 second's fine. For me, Haaland held on for a bit too long, and it was like there was a point where it's like, oh, we could get away with this. Then it was like, oh no, you've held on for another 2 seconds.
They said even afterwards, the second foul they would have given it on Alisson anyway. So
oh,
it was
well, there we go. But
yeah, it was too far.
Like it was like, I know people are going to cling on to that and say, oh, disallowed goal, but some rules. We don't like some of the rules the police in this country have. We wish we could drive around smoking weed, some of us, all day long, but we can't, right? So we abide by our laws. Same thing with the striker. VAR's going to check these things now. So I don't think so. For that, there was a Fabinho. No, so the Thiago challenge that he got a yellow on. Again on that one, he slid. Both his feet stayed on the floor. So that was it was a yellow, nothing more. And today I've seen talk of a handball. I haven't seen it, but again, all of it, a day after the game, we can start talking about referee decisions, but it's facts. I've been saying it for the last 2 years. We can't rely on referees. No club in this country can rely on referees' decisions. Quite simply, if the decision don't go your way, we're Man City. We should be good enough to go again and score. And that's it. So there's no excuses. Liverpool were better. The simple things are yesterday is Liverpool were better defensively and Liverpool were more clinical in front of goal. Just about. So
let me dig a bit deeper. I feel like there's definitely more to discuss on than just those 2 points. Chelsea OG, let me go through some super chats. He says, big up Daps coming on even when it doesn't go your way. Another super chat here as well. Big up. He's saying, big up the 4 legends. Cancelo doesn't look like the same at right back. Husam Nunez is literally a skinny Lukaku. And Flop came out top. Big up Hoffa Potter. Yeah, big up, bro. Listen, I want to get into this. Right?
Cancelo.
For me, Cancelo, first of all, wasn't even playing at right back, so we're gonna get into that. But flawless, I mean, we're gonna pick and choose here. Do you want to praise Liverpool, or do you want to potentially go into Manchester City's change of formation and why that didn't look how it should have looked? Do you want to take the praise route or the criticize route? I'm happy to do either. I don't mind.
this guy is...
because I don't know how Daps just went on a monologue there without mentioning three at the back.
Again, I think
Why?
the reason
we saw that last week, bro. We saw that last week.
But this is a different game, Daps, and you play three. It looks like I've already decided.
But this goes to show the respect that Pep has for Liverpool.
I don't know though. I don't think that was respect, bro.
Nah, you know what is respect? You know why you know it's respect? You know why you know it's respect? Because when we've seen him overthink things in the Champions League as well. It's to say it's a very, very, very similar pattern. Even though Liverpool are not at their best, records matter in football. If you're going to a place where you have a great record, even if you're in bad form, that still gives you hope. Same way, if you have a very bad record somewhere, even if you're going there in great form, the opposition's in poor form, you're still confident. City's record at Anfield is not good. And Pep knows this. So even though everything was in City's favor going into that game, there was no, if you give Pep a perfect world to go into a game away at Anfield in the Premier League, what else could he have asked for? Maybe Thiago not being fit. Outside of that, what more could he have asked for in terms of results, in terms of personnel? Maybe a Walker. Literally two things. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but we had Milner right back.
Yeah,
no. Hey, Sam, hold on. That's not an excuse, but he's asking what more could Pep have wanted.
So,
I'm not saying. I'm not saying this is an excuse, but come on, let's be real, bro. Pep would rather Walker. The reason we played three at the back is because ultimately, and this is probably why we tried it against Southampton. It was Southampton, isn't it? Yeah, it was Southampton.
Sure,
we played three at the back. Yeah, it was. It's because I think apart from cancer, and you've got to remember Gomez got sent off midweek, and I think that might have, if there was any chance of him playing Gomez on the left, I think him getting sent off, Pep thought, nah, the Liverpool game he's not ready for this Liverpool game. So I think that's why you kind of saw the three at the back, because of the Walker issue. But listen, anyone that thinks these are excuses, they are not excuses. We spend money. We should have the right people.
It's not about that though, because when three at the back is implemented, people automatically assume it was more defensive.
Yeah.
Cancelo was playing right wing. He wasn't playing right wing back. He was playing right wing. Foden was playing left wing. So it was basically 3v3 in transitions. It was Salah, Jota, and sorry, who's the third attacker? Firmino versus or Elliot sometimes, because Elliot was basically playing right wing. But so many times it was 3v3, and if anything, it looked even more attacking than just going with a flat four. So that's why I was so confused as to why he didn't look to switch it, because you were basically doing 1v1 defending. Well. Yeah, why didn't you change it in game? It was like 1v1 defending all the time. I didn't understand that.
And
in game, he should have changed it. I think it's even a bigger criticism.
Not only is he over 40, to go there with Foden as a wing back and Cancelo as a wing back goes to show where now I'm actually looking at the lineup again to jog my memory, because I just Googled it. He's just looking at it and going, they're in poor form. Let's go for the jugular and put the nails in the coffin. Because to go to Anfield and play Cancelo as one of the wing backs and then go Foden as the other wing back goes to show.
You know why you're spot on with that?
He went for it. Well, yeah, go on.
No, you know why you're spot on with the nail in the coffin thing is, I don't know if you remember, at one point Bernardo Silva had I think it was Bernardo Silva, I'm sure it was, had the opportunity in the first half, maybe about 35 minutes, to go forward and on a counter, and he came back, and I remember Sky picked up on it and said Pep is fuming, and he was on the sideline screaming at them, saying what are you doing, why? And usually against Liverpool, Pep's more than happy, and in most games, to be fair, Pep is more than happy for City to be controlled. But for once, they were controlled, and Pep looked pissed off, like, no, go for the jugular, don't be controlled. I think you're right. I think he saw weaknesses. He kind of played, if you look at the way we played against Southampton, very similar, but instead of Cancelo playing right wing, it was Mahrez playing right wing. So I think he probably thought by playing Cancelo there, Cancelo does, although I do think Cancelo definitely has his flaws defensively. He's better defensively than Mahrez is, because Mahrez is really bad defensively. So maybe he thought, you know what, we've still got the fact that Cancelo can get back. But look, I've been saying about Cancelo, and this week I've been speaking on Trent as well and saying Trent's not good defensively. Like no Liverpool fan. The one thing I'd say about Liverpool fans when they defend Trent's defending is that's the only thing you're doing wrong. Wax lyrical about how good Trent is going forward. And for that reason, you still keep playing Trent. You just make sure that your system suits Trent. So you have the cover. It's the same with City. Like if we're going to, Cancelo is not the best left or right back defensively, but he'd probably make it into, I mean, to be fair,
he's the best
Chelsea
fullback in the league though.
One of the
No,
best.
he isn't.
He's
No,
one of
he
the best. No, hold on. He's one of the best. We're not going to have this
No,
debate.
I
'cause
said
it's
he
not that
isn't
type of
the
show.
best.
But
Who's Bell? Wait, who's Bell?
What, on form or overall?
No, overall ability wise. If we do a
Of
Premier
course,
League
fine.
11, if we do
that's
a
why I
Premier
said
League,
one of the
wait.
best.
If we do
Well,
a
we
Premier
haven't-
League,
are we doing a top four
if we
now
do
or
a
something?
if we do a Premier League 11, surely Cancelo gets in on
No.
ability.
Surely based on who, brother?
Ability.
No.
So
What
who's
ability?
the two? So who's the two
Because
fullbacks?
besides
No.
besides-
Answer the no. Answer the
Liverpool
question.
about
Who's
to
the
add
two
another
fullbacks?
team again.
Yo,
How
just
can I
name the
answer
two
the
teams.
question if you
Just
interrupt
name
me
it.
this
Just
week?
name it. Why do you always have to dance around it and go around the
I'm not
houses? The back.
dancing.
Name the
I
two
was
fullbacks,
about
man.
to say,
I'm saying.
besides dribbling, there is nothing that Cancelo does better than Trent. That's
Ah,
it.
Passing,
again, that's not.
Hold on,
that's-
hold on, because Cancelo is better at left back, so Cancelo wouldn't be starting at right back ahead of Reece James, not Trent. First of all, second of all,
No, but he didn't say form, Matthias.
Yeah, I know. I'm just talking about as a player in that position. I'm
No, but
surprised.
that's a different argument.
Yeah, but
He's
I'm
the best-
surprised.
he's-
Yeah, but forget Trent because I wouldn't put Trent
He's
in
saying
an
ability.
11. Yeah, but I wouldn't put Trent in there anyway because it's Reece James. But I'm surprised you're not throwing Robertson at left back because you know that defensively Robertson doesn't need a left-sided centre back who's left-footed to cover him. And I've heard Daps and many Man City fans speak about this before. If they don't have a left-footed, left-sided centre back to cover Cancelo when he steps up into midfield, then defensively they can get caught out in the wide areas because he's not defending that zone
I don't
as a
subscribe to
Robertson
that
would.
train of thought. I really
But
don't.
that's the same argument I
I'm
would
not
use
going to
for
put
why.
Robertson. No, but you're asking. I'm not going to put Robertson ahead of Cancelo. I'm not.
Okay.
Cancelo's
But,
better than
to be fair, that's pretty consistent with you putting Trent ahead of Reece James.
Yeah,
So
because
you don't
Robertson-
mind if they're a massive defensive liability.
For me, it's not a matter of.
I just can't
okay, you
imagine a
defend
back four
better.
with Trent and Cancelo in it. That would be
No, but
fucking
for me, it's not a matter of who defends better. For me, it's not a matter of he defends better. Full stop. I don't give a shit if he defends better.
That's nice.
Cancelo offers so much more on the pitch. Trent offers so much more on the pitch. All I ask for when I start speaking about Cancelo, I think Trent's better than him in terms of ability because besides dribbling, that's the only thing that Cancelo has over him. And Cancelo's a better dribbler because he's a failed winger anyway, so he has to be a better dribbler. When it comes to the Trent conversation,
Isn't Trent a failed midfielder, to be fair?
yeah, but that's fine. I never used it against him. I said that's why he's a better dribbler.
Weird shots, but carry on.
That's not a shot. I said that's why he's a better dribbler. So anyway, when it comes to the Cancelo thing, the problem I have is everyone besides Daps, because he's been honest with this since I met him. He said Cancelo isn't the best defensively, but a lot of people who support City try to act like Cancelo is like Nesta or Maldini. Like, no, he isn't. Whatever you rate Trent defensively is what you would by default rate Trent defensively because they're both defensive liabilities and can get caught out. So that's just, you have to be consistent. Yesterday, that mistake that like what the Cancelo made, we all know, if we're being honest, if that was Trent on halfway line and Haaland did that to him, trending on Twitter, Trent can't defend. No one says Cancelo can't defend. And because Liverpool have been crap as a collective, all Trent's mistakes lead to goals. A lot of the times, Cancelo's mistakes don't lead to goals. Like many times he does make mistakes, but because they're defensively solid as a unit, they don't lead to goals. But yesterday, Cancelo, and by the way, Ruben Diaz as well, both of them were poor defensively, I thought, and actually got roasted multiple times. But we were just not clinical, i.e. the Nunez. When Nunez came on, if Nunez was not a donkey, that game ended 3-0. But Nunez is a donkey. And I've been saying he's a donkey for 4 months. But unfortunately, we decided to pay 60 million for this donkey. If
he was poor when he came
in
on,
that same moment that Nunez was in, if it was anyone else, it's a pass to Salah 2-0. And the second one is just as bad because he had Carvalho and he had Trent running far post, and he just waited and played the ball in 5 years later. So if it was a better player than Nunez, that game ends 3-0 possibly.
And that's where my issue is. My issue yesterday, ultimately, I will say I do think Haaland could have been a bit more clear. I don't want to be harsh and say Haaland had a really bad game, right? Because he didn't have a really bad game. The header, I think he should have done better with that. And maybe one or two decisions, but I'm not all of a sudden going to start cooking Haaland saying it was awful. For me, the biggest issue for me, and the Nunez one was the perfect example. The first one is, I think I saw Salah through on goal, and if he would played through then, through one-on-one with Edison 3 or 4 times, right? And quite simply, that is not good enough, especially Matisse with 3 at the back. For you to be letting Salah through one-on-one with Edison a minimum of 3 times.
Yeah.
And even on the last one, when Nunez was running with that ball, I'm shit at football, right? Like, I could have picked out that pass. The way he didn't, he just looked like he was getting flashbacks of when he came on in the Community Shield and scored the third, was it?
Yeah.
Right. It's like he got flashbacks again that, oh yeah, I'm gonna get the winner here. And it's like, no, bro. And I think, you know what, to be fair to him, he might not ever do that again, because I'm sure Klopp will have pulled him up and said, bro, this is not about you, this is about the team. But for me as a City fan, after knowing that Salah had scored by getting a 1-on-1 with the keeper, there's no way that he had. Did you see how much space he had?
But can I just add as well? This is very deja vu in a way to Lukaku. I said it a couple of weeks ago with the way that the market went for Liverpool in terms of signing this big money striker that doesn't really suit the way they play. So they're adapting to him. They're trying to adapt to him, not addressing other areas of the team that could have maybe shared the money out a little bit more evenly, or they could have brought in a midfielder, all of these things. Nunez is what kind of in a way Lukaku was to us, without the attitude problems and all that kind of stuff and the whole press and all that shit. You have kind of gone away from what makes you the most dangerous with Salah making those runs. It doesn't matter if Salah's playing up front or if Salah's playing off the right. If Salah is playing with Firmino, he's just got more freedom and license to make those runs centrally because he hasn't got anybody blocking him. Firmino is like your perfect sacrificial lamb, because he, on and off the ball, this man will sacrifice everything: his position, his goals, his own selfish, collective achievements for himself as an individual in terms of being the main man. He doesn't care about all that. He's happy to take up positions in the wide area. He's happy to drop deep into the 10 position. He's happy to do whatever you need to do for the team. He's technically much, much further along than Nunez, which is understandable because of the age gap, but he's just a lot easier to play with. And when you have one thing, I looked at Liverpool and I said to myself, without Darwin Nunez, they're just able to adapt to the game. Salah can go up front, make those runs centrally. If they want Salah to pull off to the right and isolate people 1v1, Firmino can go up top. If they want Harvey Elliott to pull out to the right wing, they can do that while Salah moves in. Firmino comes into the cam, presses over that double pivot. Everything was just much more interchangeable. Everybody else able to take up different positions. Yeah, so it's less limited.
I was talking about the best, like with a few Liverpool fans. I was saying the best Liverpool I think we've seen was calendar year 2019, right? Calendar year 2019. That's when they had Robertson and Van Dijk as their centre backs. Yeah, and then you look at the way they were playing up top again. There was like especially when Nunez came on. When Nunez came on, that right there. That pass, that is one that, even though people used to talk about Mane and Salah not maybe always being on the same page, that is the exact pass that Mane would make to Salah, that he would pick out. And I just felt yesterday, I saw a really interesting heat map, by the way, of the way Liverpool have sat defensively in pretty much all their games this season compared to how they sat yesterday. Heat map all the way to the byline, to their goal line, compared to the rest of the season. They've been another like 10, 15 yards further forward. But I can't really. I think Robertson was a big deal coming back. I really think that was a big deal.
Yeah, he was.
And I think Milner did what I spoke on. There was games towards the end of last season where Fernandinho at last realised that he doesn't have the body of a 21-year-old and just used his football head. And I kind of saw that with Milner yesterday. That last year he tried to match Foden with like aggression, and it didn't work because Foden just skinned him. Whereas yesterday, I think he used his football head, and him and Gomez doubled up sensationally. It was just defensively. That's what I'm saying. Liverpool were just a lot better than us. And for me as a City fan, because the one thing you always want to talk about is the Champions League, yesterday needs to be a wake-up call that if Salah was through on goal 3 or 4 times, right? In the Champions League, when we get to the quarters, the semis, well, all the knockout stages, we can't be allowing some of these European gunmen through on Ederson. Because let's be clear, Ederson had a good game yesterday. So Ederson doesn't always make saves like that as well. So we can't be allowing gunmen through on goal 3-4 times. That needs sorted out. But
yeah, I don't think that will happen,
now.
Daps, because I'm looking here even at the lineup again, and even though he's played a back five, it's like your 3 centre backs and Rodri. He's gone there with legit 4 defensive outfield players. Like, to my knowledge, Husam might be able to say this because he watches Liverpool week in, week out. But I don't think a team has gone to Anfield and they've had 4 defensive players in the outfield. Like, I think it's minimum normally your back 4 and at least 1 holding midfield and normally 2. But Pep's rarely gone for the jugular.
We switched it up, I think, maybe 4 games ago.
Yeah, not you. I'm talking about the opposition in terms of who going there, to my knowledge. I can't think of anyone who's gone away to Anfield and they've gone with 4 defensive outfield players at most. Like, that's what they have. The
many people do that when they come to Anfield. Many people.
Who the teams? Tell me. Legit,
teams do come to Anfield and the Etihad and the Emirates and even your stadium sometimes and Stamford Bridge, and they do try to park the bus or play a lot more
even
defensively.
That's my point. Is what I'm saying is City were very offensive. I'm saying they only had 4 defensive outfield players. That's my point. Is
I don't get your point. What's your point? Maybe I'm not understanding.
I'll explain it again. Yeah. See, you always think it's a shot. I'm not taking a shot. I'm genuinely asking a question.
I'm a winner today. I'm a winner.
Why are you so scared, man? I know I punched you. I know I punched you a lot on the show, but that was a genuine question I was asking.
Landed because I'm
saying that they always land. You scared already, man. I moved and you flinched. My point is, my point is, you shook to death of me. I understand it.
But
my point is,
get me a scorpion for this guy.
Husam, my point is, what I'm saying is, when you look at the lineup that Manchester City put out at Anfield, they had 4 defensive players in their outfield, and I'm saying that I've never seen that, to my knowledge, when I think of all the top teams that have come to Anfield and do that. That's my point.
Okay, and I'm telling you, usually teams, when they come to Anfield, they do that. They play defensive. They don't play the actually funny enough.
You're missing my point, but go on, carry on.
The team that came to Anfield and didn't play with 4 defensive outfield players is Bournemouth, and they got roasted.
Saying, so that's why I said top teams. I'm saying normally top teams will come to Anfield and play more. It's at least 5, sometimes 6. Sometimes it's a back 4.
So you're saying they played less?
Yes,
than 5.
See that, man. Stop flinching, man. Yes. Now you get it, innit? This guy shook to death.
The numbers clicked. Now when you said it in a number, I understood.
So,
the thing is with the Champions League, if you do this against the PSG, problem. Against the Madrid, problem. Against the Bayern, problem. This is the thing. What Daps just said is 100% true, because maybe even, by the way, yesterday, Jota missed 2 headers. Salah had an opportunity to score. Maybe if that's Neymar, Mbappe, Lewandowski, Benzema, all of these players, it's a 100% different story. This is an out-of-form Liverpool that could get a 1-0 win. And by the way, offensively, it's a worry as well, because it was easy to stop Kevin De Bruyne yesterday, which is something I never say. I love Kevin De Bruyne. I always defend him. But it was easy to stop him yesterday because a double pivot defensive just positioned themselves well. Kevin De Bruyne was basically nullified. I thought Rodri was the only midfielder that deserved credit from City.
I think Bernardo was good. Bernardo was winning the ball back.
Just the usual when he plays Liverpool. Just a bit of shouting and tries to act just a little rat, to be honest with you. I cannot stand him. I wish I could
love him.
Hold on.
Husam, you might not like him.
You don't like Bernardo.
I don't like Van Dijk.
Foden boxed by Milner.
But hold on, Husam, be honest. Who's the first midfielder? If whenever we do a combined 11, your first midfielder in there is Bernardo Silva.
Oh, Liverpool would love to have
Kevin De Bruyne.
Make no mistake.
Kevin De Bruyne.
Bernardo is such a Liverpool player. He is.
Yeah.
He's such a Liverpool player.
Yeah, really is. There's one other thing that I spent kind of the 2 days building up to the game, kind of debating with City fans, and it was when I did my combined 11, I didn't put Kanji in. I put Laporte in, and kind of straight away they were like, "Oh no, Kanji's better." And I was like, "You do realise
already?"
Well, thank you. Now this is what I'm going to say. That's exactly what I'm going with. And I was like, "You do realise the 2 games he's come back in so far, we kept clean sheets in, right?" Firstly, I said, "Now That's why I think Pep might play him, because he knows how to play Liverpool. He's played Liverpool a lot. But there is this thing that, and I'm not knocking. And then I said someone said Laporte's got mistakes. I said Kanji's got mistakes. And they said, oh, so why would Pep sign him if he's got mistakes in? I said, no. Everyone has mistakes in them. I'm just saying, if you're going to pull up that Laporte's got mistakes in, well, Akanji already made a couple against United, to be fair, right? So, but there's this narrative now, and we need to remember, Laporte was our best centre-back last season. He got us over the line. He's held an injury till now because he played injured to get us over the line. So we need to respect that, and we need to remember. And for me, I want to see Laporte starting. For me, it needs to start Laporte, Diaz, and just sit with the rock. It's great that we've got Ake and Akanji and that they can come in on the left side, on the right side as cover. But let's be real. Our best two centre-backs are Laporte and Diaz. And I like how Pep's been changing it up and trying it for later in the season. Not many teams win Premier League switching up their centre-backs constantly. We need to get this Diaz and Laporte rock together and just run with it now for me. Left-sided, right-sided, and go.
All right, let's take it in a different direction as well. Because
Can I just say one quick thing, Matisse, before we take it there?
Yeah, go on.
I think the thing is as well, one guy who's also like, I think many people are just avoiding the conversation, is Phil Foden. Because I think yesterday's performance, I thought he was absolutely dreadful, to be honest with you. And coming up against someone like James Milner, you would expect, for me, even as a Liverpool fan, I'm not a rival and I'm not a City fan. I saw that Milner right-hand side and I saw Foden and I thought, oh my God, he's about to get roasted. And I thought Foden didn't show bravery. He didn't show enough bravery to just attack Milner. Even if I ask you off the top of your head right now, how many times did you even see Phil Foden attacking Milner or taking the ball and running at him? I don't think he did that enough, because that was a weakness that was going to be exposed. Yes, Trent is bad defensively, but Milner is just a scrap. When he came on against Everton at right back, he got dribbled past 3 times in 6 minutes. So Milner is not really like, oh my God, this Maldini. Like, he could have dribbled past him. Foden's looked at as this generational talent. There's another guy in London who's looked at as crap. He scored twice against Aston Villa. So, it's just, I feel like there's many agendas in the footballing world.
Let me jump in, right? Foden, I personally didn't think he was that bad as you're making him out.
Me neither.
I saw him carry the ball a couple times. Yeah. I'm going statistically as well. He got 5 dribbles successful out of 6. 5 dribbles completed out of 6. He was strong in his ground duels. I thought Foden was actually all right. I think he was good. I think the main issue. I think the main issue was them not finding Foden when he was available and ready to protect. Because I think Foden could have scored in that game if they had picked him out. If Hairline had made a stronger pass in the first half, I think it was, and I think if Gundogan had found him as well when he was in acres of space, and they didn't always try and pass to Hairline. If they had found Foden in those 2 instances, I think Foden would have scored. Yeah. And then if he scored, I don't think we're talking about Foden's performance being tragic. I don't think Foden was that bad, personally.
You put up the statistics?
I think Kevin De Bruyne was a bigger disappointment.
And you statistically tell me why he was in James Milner's pocket, statistically.
I don't think he was... I think it was an interesting battle.
Narratives are mad.
I think it was an interesting battle. I think if you're going to say... Yeah, I think Milner performed way better.
What's happening here?
He performed... because I just don't think Foden was that bad. I think
Gomez... midfielder.
Huh?
He's a 38-year-old shit midfielder who's playing right back.
You have to understand.
With a great football brain.
What brain? He's brain dead, bro. What brain?
This is the one thing I'm going to say that's different. Foden wasn't playing in the same position that he usually plays in, because he had the responsibility of getting back as well. He didn't have a true... He was playing as a wing back, kind of. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's a different role. And this is what I spoke about, more putting it on Pep and saying, you've had Foden playing very well in his normal position. Same with Cancelo at right wing. He was playing basically right wing, but also wing back. I thought that was a bigger L to play and not change that when it's 3v3 on transitions. Like I said there, loads of moments.
As a cop-out.
But I wouldn't put that mainly on Foden personally. I think he had a little bit of a different.
I think you're right. De Bruyne was worse than Foden yesterday for me. 100%.
I think De Bruyne was incredibly predictable.
Foden, it's De Bruyne. Cancelo, Diaz. I thought all 4 of them. The Bernardo as well. Those 5.
Now
didn't have
Bernardo
good
is good, bro. I don't know where you're going with this Bernardo thing at all.
all 5 of them.
Anyway, let me take it. Take
Haaland
it
didn't have a good game either.
Let him go, man. You know what I'm saying? Go.
Flawless is flawless because we got to talk about your team.
Yeah, we gonna get there, fam. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we got to get there. We have to get there.
Grealish was Grealish. The other thing is maybe it would have been
got
different.
plenty to say.
No, we got to get there today.
We'll get
Hold
there.
them, didn't
Don't
attack him
worry.
enough. Or not.
We'll get there.
How much better is Edison in distribution than Allison? Is a question. To be honest, I think they're both just great distributors. Allison's pass though was ridiculous for Salah, so I don't know. Yeah. I wanted before we move on. I think it's a crime if we don't talk about the managers. I think it's a crime if we don't talk about just
Matisse,
Klopp
before you continue. I want to say this before I forget. Yo,
Actually, that was weird.
Before you go, Daps, the Jeff Shreves when he was talking to Pep. Did you all see the clip?
I did.
Yeah. He was just talking to him.
That's another thing I was going to bring up because that was
a stupid question though. You have to.
The look on his face was mental.
The way Pep looks at him, like yo, he was going to.
It's like he farted. It's literally like he farted mid-interview.
But also as well on top of that, right? Before the match, Klopp was moaning about not having the resources to compete with Manchester City. I think that's a load of bullshit, but we're going to get into that. Yeah. The second point is okay. Well, then you can explain the context to me because I only saw the clip, and that's fair enough. Maybe it is out of context. The second thing is Pep obviously saying that Liverpool are the main rivals to Man City, not Arsenal.
I agree.
And I'm interested to see if Husam feels like you're still in the title race because I personally don't think you guys can come and do this massive 10-game winning streak like you have always done. But if you do that, then fair play. I've already been proven wrong with the result. And the last thing is obviously, Klopp getting sent off and whether that was what did you make of that situation? I mean, Husam, I'll let you kick it off with the whole, not being able to compete. We cannot compete because I think you can.
Sorry, before you go, just hold on, Husam. Just before you go, just a reminder that on, I believe it's the 11th of July, Klopp said we have 3 of the best centre backs in world football, the best left back, the best right back, and let me not even talk on our goalkeeper. That's word for word what he said.
That's why I say it. So if you're going to tell me that what I just said was out of context,
no, they threw, the media threw Klopp under the bus. He got asked that question.
Better than throwing bricks at buses,
Always the victim.
Hold on. Klopp's been here for 7 years, and you're about to tell me that he can't see the traps that the media lay. All right.
Cool. I would appreciate if I spoke more than 7 seconds without getting interrupted. And then I can explain.
We'll give you 8. Go on.
We said out of context Klopp. We cannot do out of context Husam as well. Then it's too out of context. It won't fit. Anyway, so
find my burner.
They threw him under the bus more than Kevin De Bruyne gets thrown under the bus from the game yesterday.
Him that broke the windshield.
What happened is he got asked the question and he responded. Everything he said was factual. There are 3 clubs in the world that can spend as much as they want, and that's Man City, PSG, and Newcastle. Those 3 can spend as much money as they want. They don't have a ceiling. The second thing is he got asked the question. He didn't just suddenly start speaking about it. And he said at the start of his question, if you notice, he said, you won't like my answer. You already know the answer. He said that himself. Now, where Klopp is wrong is we are not asking to compete financially with Manchester City, but also I'm not asking to have lower net spend than Bournemouth. So Klopp does have to also sometimes read the room, brother. You said no to these midfielders that we could have bought, but you decided to not go buy them. So that's your problem, not Pep's problem, not Man City's problem. That's where you have to be consistent with yourself. No one's asking you to go spend as much as Man City did, but also don't spend like Bournemouth. So there's a fine line in between. And the second thing is, with your Klopp thing getting sent off, I love it. I love it. Get more red cards.
Let's move on to that. Hold on. Stay on the money thing first. Let's do it bit by bit. Otherwise, you're going to...
Yeah.
So you just said you can't go and spend what Man City spent. What, this summer? You did.
He's going to tell me now they made the money from selling youngsters.
No, I'm not going to talk on us, bro. I'm going to talk on you. You said we can't spend what Man City spent. I'm not talking about net spend. You said we can't spend. Nothing to do with where the money came from.
Yeah.
You did spend what we spent, bro.
We can't.
Right? As for you did this summer, you did literally.
No, we did not. No, we did not.
Secondly,
Nunez is 64 million.
Secondly, you said City have no ceiling. If City have no ceiling, why do we pull out of Cucurella and say we're not spending that much back on a left
Because
back?
you don't think he's worth that much. That doesn't mean you have
All
a
right,
ceiling.
not that. No. We're trying to like what people
That
need
means
to
you're not
understand
bought
is-
into
hold
the
on,
player as
Sam,
much.
What people need to understand is that did Manchester City back 10 years ago have to spend a lot of money to catch up? Yes, we did. It's simple business, right? If you have a small business and you've got Liverpool, Chelsea, United, Arsenal, who over the last 30 years, 20 years have spent a lot more than Manchester City before that because we had no money, right? So we had to spend money to get our business to a level playing field because every season when you lot were in the Champions League and we weren't, you could spend more money. So then we spend money to get the field level. Now we're there, you're starting
Millions is
to
not level playing field.
Okay. Like I said, you've been spending money for years and years building your squad. We had to catch up. So we've spent money. It's very simple business. It's what every business does. You invest.
Yes.
It's a 10, 15-year plan. You spend, you get
So
there.
that's
Then
let's
you-
change the
But
question.
just
Then
to
you-
Because
hold
I
on,
think
just-
it's the
hold on.
word, it's the
Hold
wording
on,
of the
Sam.
question. If
Then
Mbappe
you
wants to
become
leave PSG
sustainable. Carry
tomorrow,
on.
who can buy Mbappe? If Mbappe wants to leave PSG,
I heard
who
you
can
lot
buy
can. I
Mbappe?
heard Liverpool can.
You can.
That's what I heard. I heard you
Flawless.
You
lot
just
can.
don't
Flawless,
want to.
flawless.
You,
I've
bro,
heard-
Not
Sam,
everyday sarcasm.
hold on,
Let me
I'm
Sam.
just not being sarcasm.
That's-
I've heard you lot
If
can buy him.
Mbappe wants to leave PSG,
I've heard
realistically,
you.
who can
Okay,
afford
why
to
Sam,
manage wages? Go on.
Why do you always think it's
who's the bigger
sarcasm?
club?
I've heard you lot can buy him. This is
To
what
be
I've
fair,
been
you
told.
are called Sarcasm City TV.
Yeah,
Yes,
Sam,
that's it.
I
Thank you,
don't
Sam
think
Matisse.
what the
Thank
media
you.
say.
Thank you.
It's a
Cheers.
very
You
clear
know what I'm
question.
saying?
Go on, Daps.
Sam,
Who can buy him?
some-
Who can buy him?
Sam, some simple questions for you. Who's a bigger club, Manchester City or Liverpool?
Answer my question, and I promise I'll answer all your
What was
questions.
what was your question? I'll answer it.
Mbappe tomorrow wants to leave PSG. Name the clubs in the world that can afford him and his wages.
That can
Go on.
afford him.
Liverpool.
Liverpool are not in that conversation,
Liverpool can
I'm sorry.
afford him.
No,
You're
they
acting-
can't.
hold on,
Thank you.
bro,
They
let me
can't.
finish.
They
Everyone
can't.
acts like I'm crazy when I'm saying logical
No,
stuff.
but
They
hold on,
can't.
so answer my question. Who? Fine, right.
Who can
is the bigger-
buy Mbappe?
Hold on. We just
PSG.
witnessed Liverpool sell Mane because they potentially didn't have the money or they didn't want to
They
give
didn't
him
wanna
and
give him
Salah the
wages.
wages. They're not going to
No,
give
but
Mbappe the
hold on,
wages
hold
that
on,
he
but
wants.
Matisse, that's not
You
it.
think we can,
Let's be
bro?
real.
We
Hold on.
spent 6 months negotiating Salah. You think we're gonna give Mbappe 500 grand a week? That's never gonna
Right,
happen.
Bo. Also, we negotiated Haaland, didn't give him 500 grand a week either. We made sure that it was the same as Kevin De Bruyne, right?
That's your negotiations, man. You need to
Can I
negotiate.
ask-
man.
Oh, yeah,
But I was
you're
just
clearly
hold on.
missing
I'm
the
just
point.
thinking, Sam, you have to right. You support Liverpool, right? If you, I feel like you don't support Liverpool. What you do is you support the elements of Liverpool you want to support,
No,
not the
I
whole
support
club.
Liverpool.
Yeah, hold
collectively.
on, Sam.
No, but the fact is, when you say we can't afford it, you can
Right.
afford it.
You just don't want
your
to spend.
board, just your board don't want to pay it, bro.
Yeah.
You can afford it.
That's
and
not
that's why I was
true.
going to ask you, Husam, who's a bigger club? You're a bigger club than City, which means you generate more money than City. So ultimately, you can afford it. Your board are just scumbags and don't want to spend it, which is fine, but that's your board. That's not my
Why
issue,
are you
bro.
missing the point? Tell me why. I don't disagree with anything you just said.
But they
I do
can
not
if they want to.
If
need
we
be.
wanted to
Bro,
spend
if
money
you
this
man
summer,
want to
we could
compete,
have.
If you man want to
But
win
is
another
there a
league, go and
ceiling?
spend some fucking money.
Bro,
Put your hands
is
in your
there a
pocket.
ceiling?
Go spend
There is
some
a ceiling.
fucking money.
They're saying
There
there's
is
a
a
difference
ceiling.
between being poor and being stingy.
Facts.
No. I never claimed we were poor. Because once again, I always
So you
keep
can
saying,
afford
you
it
guys
then?
are missing the
You can
point.
afford it. You just don't
you-
want to.
Matisse answered my initial question. Mbappe, we cannot get him. It's Madrid, City, and PSG. The point is, it's not about whether we can spend money. And that's why I criticized Klopp, if you noticed, when I was responding to Matisse. I'm saying you don't have a ceiling, I do. Meaning, if you wanted to, you could go
Not my
spend
money, by the way.
400 million.
I've got a
We
ceiling.
cannot spend 400 million. And when it comes to certain players in world football, the elite of the elite of the elite, we simply cannot get them because of wages, because of money,
You
because
pay
of
more
all
on
the different
wages than
stuff.
us, bro.
So because of the
The
way
wage
we are
bill's higher than
structured,
ours.
because of the way that we are structured,
You're just lying.
because of the way we are structured,
The lies.
we
the lies,
make
the
we make
lies.
money. We make money in terms of the size of our club. We've even made more money than Manchester United, and this links to my earlier point, which I just said. We don't
can't
have to
afford it.
compete financially with Man City, but at the same time, we cannot spend less than Bournemouth. There is a middle ground. We have to spend
Sam,
more
you just
money.
mentioned the wage. Your wage
We have
bill's
to
higher
spend more
than
money,
ours,
but we
bro.
cannot spend as much as City. That's the point.
You're not listening. Your wage bill is higher than City's.
Lord have mercy on my soul.
That's not an answer.
We
What,
have
you
a
saying I'm
higher
wrong?
quantity of senior
Don't bring the
players.
Lord
That's
into
why.
this. You know what I'm saying? You want none of your
Sam,
pay
but you
squabbles.
just said
We
in
have
that-
a higher
in that-
quantity of senior players. I just answered.
Sam, when you were just speaking, then you said we can't spend the wages City spend, but your wage bill is higher than ours. So I'm just saying, be factual,
wage
brother.
bill.
But is his point that you guys have an unlimited cash reserve and
Yes.
you can never run out of money if you were to exceed your boundaries
Yeah, but we'll
in
definitely
your
be
wage
pulled up in court
structures
again.
and your transfer budget structures? Whereas if Liverpool don't have an unlimited reserve of cash, and if they were to go past their budgets, then they would be screwed potentially.
But the whole thing is, we do not right. If you look at how City have spent the last 2 summers,
And I'm not
right,
saying
and-
that you guys splash it willy-nilly, because I don't think you do.
And
You,
if you look at
do
the last
spend
2
responsibly.
summers,
Yeah, Man
if you look
City,
at the
Man
summers,
United
City-
don't spend responsibly.
Yeah, so I'm not saying that you guys spend irresponsibly.
If you look at this, if you look at the last couple of summers since the whole court incident, right, I think it's very clear to see that City are cutting back their spending. So when
do you think
say,
when people take the last 10 years, they put it all together when really they should look at the first 5 years and
no,
separate
it's
from the
relevant.
last
Talk
5
on
years?
the 10 years because I started off saying we had to spend to catch up, right? Do you know what? Something mad I heard yesterday that I think this is now crazy is that apparently I heard Neville say something that now what some of the other clubs are saying is that people need to look at how much money City are earning by winning, right? And that's like, you know what, this is bullshit. Because before it was like, oh, you're spending money that's just being invested. Now they're noticing that we're becoming self-sustainable and that we're actually spending money that we're earning. They're now going, nah. We can't allow these teams that win everything to earn so much money. But it's like, well, that didn't happen when United were winning everything. But now all of a sudden that, City aren't investing as much. We need to look at what they're earning now. It's like, ultimately, you just don't want us to spend money because you want it to get back to the original 4. That's what it is.
It's also important.
Nothing to do with
It's also important to add.
No, that's what they're investigating.
City haven't
Sam,
just.
Again, I'm speaking factual. That's what they're looking into. You can say it's nothing to do with it, but that's what people are saying they're now starting to look at.
I just think Man City have found the loophole. The reason why people are more upset at City, because this never happened with Chelsea, by the way.
You're a clever guy.
People didn't look at Chelsea this way.
That.
Even when they spent money, even when I was growing up and they spent money, people didn't look at Chelsea the same. But because Man City found the loophole in which the sponsor of Manchester City and the owner of Manchester City is the same exact company, that's a totally different conversation from pumping money in. I don't think they're against pumping money in.
I love how much time
that's why they put rules in.
And
that's why they put rules in against Newcastle, because they don't want Newcastle to be sponsored by Saudi Airlines and then suddenly the owner and the sponsor are both the same people. So you just find a loophole. So
it's mad. It's mad. Do you know what, Sam? I'll be honest with you. It's mad that a European court of law couldn't find that out, but Sam, with his crystal ball, has managed to break down exactly what City are doing. So
they found the loophole, but they did it legally. No, but that's the point. You cannot by law. If someone uses a loophole in something, you cannot prosecute them because it's your fault for not putting it in the law.
Not tying up the restrictions. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, they didn't.
I think it's also important to say that Man City have also spent money outside the squad in terms of the facilities, the youth facilities, making sure that they improve their youth academy, and they've sold a lot of those young players, and that's balanced the book. So although that they spent more in the transfer window than you guys, they also made more money in the transfer window than you guys, and that balanced out the books. And it's the same model that Chelsea applied, although they've applied it slightly better. Hence why the new owners coming in to try and copy is that they've set up a network of clubs around the world, which is another loophole that nobody has. And that's not City's fault. Again, that's them seeing an opportunity.
Yeah.
That's they're seeing an opportunity to buy clubs, create a group of clubs, a monopoly, and then loan the players out there, buy players from them on cheaper fees because they literally control the whole situation. If there's a talent there, and if there's a talent there, they take it on the cheap because they can move them around the system and then sell them for big profits if they develop them. And that's what you saw with the under-23 squad. So it's down to City just being further ahead, from a little bit more ahead of the curve, and Liverpool maybe got to incorporate some of those. But also, much like Barcelona had as well, Liverpool have an image that they want to protect. They want to protect an image in terms of, we do things the right way. We don't splash. We're the people's club, the community club, more than a club. Barcelona had the same thing. Once you guys drop that, you'll be just fine. Yeah. Stop the pride thing. Come dance with us, man. Come dance with us, man.
You know what it is? just take 2 minutes and just take 2 minutes off. Ask Flawless about United or something, and just go listen to the clip fully, not the clip that they uploaded on social media and everyone was retweeting. Look at the clip fully. He actually all he said was something factual. There's 3
What
clubs.
what was the actual original question? What caused him to say
the
that?
journalists put it in a way, and this is why when Klopp first started the answer, what did he say?
Yeah.
You won't like my answer. You already know the answer.
I hear that.
So it was asked
what was
in a
the
way
question?
in which
I heard that part. I did hear that part.
Yeah, I had that part.
it was asked in a way in which like Klopp was looked at as something like he's criticizing.
I hear that, Husam. I'm asking you though, what was the question that the journalist asked? What did the journalist
he
say?
basically asked him a financial question. You can look at it up yourself.
Okay, so he asked him a financial question.
I forgot the same exact phrase. But
okay,
but also, can we add as well? Pep is a lot more cutthroat with transfers in and out at City than Klopp is. You remember you spoke
100%
months ago on this show saying, and that's Klopp. So Klopp is being not a hypocrite, but Klopp needs to kind of look in the mirror a little bit and understand that. I don't know whether they're rejecting the players that you couldn't get Tchouameni, you couldn't get Bellingham.
We rejected Nunez,
but it seems like exactly. It seems like Klopp likes his group. He likes to keep a tight knit group. He's very loyal to players as well, and that potentially is why he thinks he cannot compete because Pep is not like that. He comes through the door, he axes Joe Hart, he axes Yaya Toure at some point, he axes all these players, whereas Klopp has a lot more loyalty to players. He brought in Torres, and Torres was out the door not so long after, like literally just like that.
Let me put it to you this way, Matisse. Best summary in one sentence.
And Klopp's got power. You've said it before. So if he had that Pep attitude, then we would know if he was getting screwed over financially by the board or not. But it could be partly Klopp. And
he signed a contract, so it's Klopp's fault. That's why I've been saying it's Klopp's fault. But let me put it to you a perfect summary that concludes this whole conversation. If Pep Guardiola was at Liverpool, he would be less successful due to financial restraints. And if Klopp was at Manchester City, he'd be less successful due to sentiment because Fabian Delph would probably still be at Man City. So both things, it's almost like every guy just fit the correct club. Because if Pep went to Liverpool, he wouldn't be able to spend as much. If Klopp went to Manchester City, Fabian Delph and all these guys would still be Man City players. So both of them wouldn't be as successful at the reverse clubs, So
do you think Klopp has a underdog fetish because he had it at Dortmund?
Yes, he does.
Yeah,
he 100% does.
And I'm not saying that to piss about. I'm saying that some managers, they prefer to be backs against the wall because it's a motivation tactic. It's a way that they fuel their team, the way that they
100%.
Mourinho used to be like this as well. Like we're the underdogs. Nobody likes us. We don't have a fair, even playing field. It's a good way to say to the boys on the training field, listen, look at all the money on that side of England over there, just across down the motorway. We can't compete with that, but we're gonna, you know what I mean? So maybe it's a tactic. I don't know.
Let me give it to you factually, Matisse. In the book, Pep Linders' book, remember all people, conspiracy.
I feel like I've heard about this book about 5 times.
Let me give you a quote. Forget conspiracies. John Henry didn't write this book. FSG didn't write this book. This is Klopp's coaching staff. We don't want to be the best team in the world. We want to beat the best team in the world. So you are 100% correct. They don't want to have all these great players. They want to basically train and win games.
They legit want to be Super Saiyan Luigi.
Yes.
Legit. Is that what they want to be the best Robin we have ever
now
seen?
you understand.
That is crazy.
Speaking of,
that is nuts. Before we continue, Batiste, I just got one question for Sam. Obviously, on the Klopp thing, all them things there is red herrings in it. Klopp just making excuses because he's failing and his team's failing. But that's a whole different conversation. Just one question to you, Sam. Just one question. I know you're not Klopp in, you're not Klopp out. You're Klopp fix the fuck up. So I need to ask you, where are you at with the Klopp fix the fuck up meeting right now?
You're gonna ask this every show.
I'm asking, man. People want to know.
Fine. No, that's fine.
That's
Flawless.
There we go.
Flawless 100% has the right to ask this question because
Thank you.
Klopp did fix up. These last 2 games against Rangers,
he's fixed up, and so we're in the green.
Against Rangers and against Manchester City, he said fuck the 4-3-3. He said fuck putting Salah or hugging the touchline. He said screw all of this. I'm actually going to play compact. I'm going to play smart. He changed up the way we play. Now, Flawless, I want you to ask me the question next week. Why? Because if I come back after West Ham and Nottingham Forest and the man goes to 4-3-3 again, and he puts Salah hugging the touchline again,
we're back
and
in
he
the
puts
red.
Trent in midfield again, then He did not learn from his mistakes.
we're back
So you
in
have
the-
every right
yeah.
to ask that question.
Of course, man.
I've
If there's people want to know,
Big up
innit? I'm just
Flawless,
here
man. Big up
mediating. Of
Flawless.
course, yeah, man. I try, man.
What
I
a
try.
goal for Manchester United against Newcastle.
I
What
try,
a
man.
goal.
I tried.
Let's
What a
get
goal.
into Manchester
Some
United.
of us got
because
3
tried.
points this week. I know
I
you
tried.
both can't relate.
You-
but
Sorry,
Drew-
just one last thing on the sending off. Yeah,
yeah, go on.
the Klopp sending off. It was a bit mad the way they stopped the game.
Did they?
Like they stopped the game as City were on the counter to kind of go to someone off the pitch and send them into the crowd. It seemed a bit
Here
weird
we
to
go
me.
again. Here we go. This referee stuff, man. It's just
No, Sam, hold on. Don't do this. Here we go again. I purposely said earlier on, I do not blame the referee decision.
Okay,
so
then
don't
don't
go
bring
here
it
we go
up then.
again
He
with
did say that
brother.
actually, Husam.
I
You need to
did
pay
say that.
attention.
okay,
You
why
did say
bring
that.
up the
Pay
referees
attention,
as we're
man.
about to move to
No,
Man
because
United?
then,
again?
no, hold on.
Pay attention,
Also, I've
Husam,
been
man.
saying we shouldn't
When
blame
you
the
send off
referee.
the manager,
So hold
you
on,
stop the
Sam, let
game.
me finish, bro. So when for the first time I say it
Sam,
was
listen,
a bit
man.
weird that we stopped the game for that. Don't go, oh my God, here we go again and get dramatic, bro. Because it wasn't that. It's the first time I've pulled it up.
Talk to him, that. Hold that, Husam. Hold that.
The referees had zero influence on yesterday's game. They didn't affect the game
I
at
agree. I
all.
said that earlier on.
Furthermore,
I
I actually think
Right,
they
carry on.
deserve credit because
don't
they
get
let play
points very
go.
well. I understand.
And we all tuned into Liverpool City to not hear a referee whistle every 30 seconds. So they let the game go. I thought it was a
we
very
all
good
agreed
game.
on that as time. I don't know who you're teaching what here.
The referee had nothing to do with the game. When you send off a manager, you have to stop
You're
the
saying
game.
need to
How
lose
the fuck
more
else are you
often,
going to
that's
send off the
what's
manager? You have to stop the game.
Oh my God.
To be fair, I feel like you do have to stop the game if you're going to send off anybody, including manager, players. Like,
Yeah, there you go, bro. Logic.
Don't get me wrong. If it is the rule, it's the rule. It just seemed mad the way we're on the counter and he just all of a sudden stopped the game to go to someone off the pitch and go up there. But if that's the rule, it's fine. It's
a red
in
card.
my opinion, needs to be addressed.
It's a red
But
card.
I'm not blaming.
I think any decision a referee's
I'm not blaming the ref
making
for anything else. So
I know, which is why I was shocked you brought it up now.
no, you weren't shocked. You went, oh my God, not again. That's what you said.
Hella dramatic, man.
Not
Because
again.
people were
Emmy
blaming
winning.
referees.
BAFTA.
I did speak to City
Like, the
fans
glass
before
is
coming
off.
on this
Look up to God and all that. I get it, bro. I get it. Drama.
I'm not being dramatic at all. I'm smiling. I'm happy, man. 3 points
Anyway,
finally.
Flawless has got away with this for long enough. Talk to me. What happened at Old Trafford? Why did you draw 0-0?
Wait, ask me the question correctly. You don't do that to any of the other hosts than that. You know what I'm saying?
You have got. No, I've literally said many a time that everybody on this panel at some point has got away with it for long enough. City don't really lose often. I've definitely said that to Sam before. But you have gotten away with it for long enough.
Go on.
Because we need to talk about Manchester United, and I didn't get to see it, so I need to know what exactly went down and why Ronaldo only had one shot off target in that match.
Because
Newcastle were a very good team.
Yeah,
so
that too. Newcastle were a good side. Defensively, they were very good as well. In regards to Ronaldo, like that's what Ronaldo is. I've said for the long. Me and you did many shows on it before. I mean, whilst he was at my football club, how often did I try to sell him to your football club like I'm brokering the deal? I know Ronaldo's not good enough. I know this. However, this is the first time even though we drew the game, it's the first time in a long time that I can remember being disappointed at a Manchester United result, which means I have some form of expectation of the players, of the team, of the manager, which is a good thing. We should have won the game. We didn't create an awful lot, but the performance was good enough. The chances we missed were criminal. Fred missed the open net. Rashford missed the header from 6 yards out. But what I'm liking is our performances. I liked our performance against Newcastle. I liked the performance against Omonia. I liked the performance against Everton. Because my criticism of my criticism of any questions that you can ask me at the end. My only criticism is facts. You got any questions? Ask me at the end, innit? You know what I'm saying? Ain't gonna stop me in full flow.
No,
you know
just
what
said
I'm saying?
against who?
You must think I'm trying at the back post. But my point is my only criticism my only criticism is of the past 3 Manchester United performances is we've not taken our chances. Now, if that's my criticism going forward, I'm happy with that. Because that means we're playing well, we're dominating the ball, and we're creating enough to go and win games. But against Newcastle, our attacking players didn't do what they were supposed to. And this is why I've said on this show and why I've said on other shows why I don't think we'll finish top 4, because the quality of our squad's not good enough. Eriksen was missing, and he's key. Martial's missing, he's key. And when you take out 2 of our best attacking players, you see this. 110% you see this. Bruno and Ronaldo is a recipe for disaster for anybody playing out wide. Those two linking up. Bruno, we know what he's good at. We know what he's bad at. Ronaldo, we know what he's good at. We know what he's bad at. Ronaldo starting is not the one. all Ronaldo's better performances have been off the bench. Every single one. Anytime he's played well and had impact, even the Everton game where he actually came off the bench and played well, it's off the bench. Bruno, when we're dominating the ball, is not the guy going forward. But defensively, we were solid. And yeah, it's disappointing, but that's it. The sky isn't falling. I'm saying it's not like we drew. It's not like we drew the game and it's like, oh my God, United are out of the title race. It's not like drawing away at Fulham. You know what I'm saying? Or drawing at home to Brighton or something like that. It's like, oh my God, the sky's falling. We're out of the title race.
I just want to know whose fault it is, according to Man United legends, why Ronaldo wasn't the epicenter of attention and wasn't this great god that could rescue Man United for the points. Because the way they make it look when you guys don't win and Ronaldo doesn't play, you'd think he's the automatic solution. You just throw him into the team. He gets goals. It's a guarantee. It's the one time that I'm going to be like, Jamie Carragher is mudding all of these pundits on Sky and on any other platform where they continue to keep saying that Ronaldo is some sort of magic potion. He's just going to suddenly make Man United tick. It's not about that.
I've said it at all. Yeah, I've said it countless times. I've tweeted this before. I've said it on live streams. It's crazy how when it comes to mainstream pundits, why is it the Liverpool legend who talks the most sense about Manchester United? It's Carragher. When he talks about Manchester United, he'd be spitting. When he spoke about Ronaldo, I agreed with everything he said. When he spoke about Marcus Rashford, and he stated if Manchester United get back to the top with Marcus Rashford in their front three, the other two have to be world beaters. I 110% agree with this. Again, can Rashford be a part of a squad that is successful? Yes, but his form has been better this season. But in terms of quality, that tells you all you need to know. Yeah, go on, Daps. Go on.
Don't you feel? Because I agree with you, right? I think Rashford. You've got Rashford's form back, right?
Yeah, he's better. Mm-hmm.
But the longer he plays without Martial, and his form's going to go again because he's not scoring. He's getting opportunities. He's not taking them. It's taking him a minute to get his form back. But I just think the sooner Martial's back and that weights off of Rashford, because at the moment, Ronaldo not firing and with it being all on Rashford, and then Rashford's not hitting when he is getting the opportunities, that's going to start impacting his confidence again. He's going to go backwards, like
potentially.
Yeah, I just feel. But Martial didn't even come on yesterday, neither.
No, Martial wasn't in the squad. He wasn't in the squad.
He obviously
got injured. He obviously got injured, but they were doing a fitness test, so hopefully he should be back. I don't know if we'll be back for the Spurs game. I don't know if we'll be back for Matisse's mob, but
it's a big week. I was going to ask you because Wilson. I think that Wilson incident, that was a penalty in my opinion.
Oh, yeah. There should have been three penalties in the game.
Should have won the
game. Newcastle should have had a penalty. United should have had 2 penalties. There should have been 3 penalties in the game.
I don't think it was a penalty.
Yeah, of course you don't.
Falling on the ground.
Of course you don't think it was a penalty.
Look, penalties aside, Joelinton should have scored twice.
Not this again.
I just said penalties aside. Joelinton should have scored twice. I thought Newcastle were 100% the better team. I actually watched the game. I thought the game was going to be a lot more exciting. I thought both teams individually let themselves down. I thought the game was probably, even if it ended in a draw, I thought it was going to be like 2-2, 3-3. But it ended in a 0-0, which I didn't expect both to keep a clean sheet and no one to score. Newcastle have themselves to blame because they would have won that game. Flawless is running the whole "I told you so" stuff, which is massive cap because he didn't predict that they were going to draw to Newcastle. And when it comes to the Cristiano Ronaldo conversation, it's just boring at this point in time. I actually agree with Flawless. Unfortunately, he's just like, Ronaldo's not that guy. Can we stop acting like he's just like, oh, Ronaldo's going to come in and score hat-tricks and save everyone's life? He isn't. And where I disagree with Flawless is Man United have spent, speaking of crazy spending, Man United have spent £1 billion, and 8 years later, they're still talking about Anthony Martial like he's the upcoming, player he's the brother. He's 27, 28.
Okay, let me know when you finish it.
He's no longer like this young Martial who's going to develop into this amazing player. He's just not that guy either. The only guy who's that guy in your front line is Anthony, and he caused chaos a few times yesterday. He was actually brilliant. I have to give him credit. Rashford's header, 30 seconds before the referee blows his whistle, you get an opportunity, a free header 2 yards away from goal, and you head it wide. This Marcus Rashford stuff is just like there is no excuse for missing that. I didn't come here with excuses for Nunez. There's no excuses. What Rashford did 30 seconds before that's it. You win the game now.
I agree.
You head the ball wide.
I don't know why Husam's saying stuff we all know. Yeah, we know
pathetic.
This. Why are you saying? Wait. Why are you saying obvious stuff?
Final sentence.
I'm a debunk all this rubbish. Go on.
Eric Ten Hag has caused a revolution at Manchester United. Under this new, refreshed Manchester United, Liverpool are on the decline and we're finished, and we're only 3 points behind them with a game in hand.
You said you were finished.
If come better than North,
You said you
week,
were finished. Let's not do that. You said you were finished.
Don't
do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. You said you were finished. You ain't calling nobody. You said you were finished. So let me debunk all that rubbish that you just said. I don't know why Husam said I'm not angry. I don't know. I'm just debunking rubbish in it. I'm just no. I'm just in stance in it. This is goal time. This is goal time. This is goal time in it. So I'm going to debunk some of that rubbish you said. You agreed with me on certain parts. One, I never said that Martial was the be all and end all. So don't put words in my mouth. I never stated that in my entire thing. Two, I don't know why you're stating that. It like making it like it's a big thing. Like I didn't tweet that the Rashford miss was criminal. Obviously, any player missing a header, a free header from 6 yards out is obvious. But we move. You know what I'm saying? Like that's blatantly obvious. You know what I'm saying? You got Darwin Nunez up front. You know about strikers missing chances. And aside from that as well, is I don't want to hear from you talking about United are on the come up, but Liverpool are finished. And if you get above us, you said your season was done before the season started. You stated that. Let's not forget that. You keep on trying to move away from it. Like let's not do that. And where was the I talk? And where was you state say that again?
What did I state?
You stated that your season was finished before it started. That's what you said.
I already explained season finished.
Yeah. You said the season. Say that again.
I already stated season finished means win the league. I don't think we can win the league.
No, you said yourself. You said your season's over. No champs, no FA Cup, no League Cup, no nothing.
Yeah, 100%. I don't think we're going to win the league. I stick by
And you don't think you're going to win the Champions League? You don't think you're going to win the League Cup?
I don't think so.
Okay, so your season's done. So I don't want to hear about
if we sign players in January. But besides that,
you probably won't because you and Daps just had a whole rant about the money.
No, but we will spend money.
Money you don't spend. You're going to spend money this January, and that's going to turn it. All right. Hopefully you sign someone better than us.
You've got some money now. You've got some.
Yeah, but back to the point is, and where was the I told you so at Newcastle? I still predicted us to win, but the sky's not falling because we drew. I don't do what you and say, oh, my season's over. Like I've said it from the longest, target the Europa League. Europa League is our number one priority. That's the competition we should target. You know what I'm saying? That's the competition we should target. Never am I sweating. Never, ever. That's the competition we should target.
From here, brother. You're
never sweat. You know what I'm saying? Never. You know what I'm saying?
When you get pressed like this, you move like Rashford on the pitch.
How do I? What have I said that's incorrect? Dispute one of my what
Man United is the one
dispute what I've stated. Dispute what I've stated. No. One sec. That's no. Dispute what I've stated.
This whole show.
Dispute what I've stated. Yeah, because I was letting you talk. No. Because I was letting you talk. Dispute what I've stated.
The comment section have noticed.
Dispute what I've stated. No. Liverpool fans, you don't like me. Dispute what I've stated. No. Dispute what I've stated. Dispute my points.
You know what? Sorry, can I just say?
No. One at a time.
I've responded. I said something. No, I said something. You responded. I responded. Now you respond to what I've said. You haven't made any responses to what I said.
I'm lost. He's overrated.
Okay, Martial's again. That's nonsense.
You're saying
Martial's our best 9, but okay, cool.
Target who's this competition? Ronaldo and Rashford?
No, but Martial's still our best 9. I never said he was cold. No, I don't dispute that. No. I never said no. I never said that.
Left back, you know, it's just.
See that again? I never said Martial was cold. Them words never left my mouth. I never said that. So don't put words in my mouth. I never said that. You know what I'm saying? Say that again. Okay, you believe he's crap. Cool. Cool. My point is he's still our best striker. He's still our best striker, but go on, carry on. Go on, carry on.
Monaco for 10 million, and that's it.
Well, all right, cool. You know what I'm saying?
What are 3 points for you? Let us be above you.
Okay, cool. Well, go on. Stop making jokes. Get back to the points I was making. Respond to the L. So I never said Martial was cold.
Martial's crap.
Okay, cool.
You say target the Europa League. You ain't gonna win the Europa League either. Because there's much better teams in there than you. Arsenal, I know you beat them earlier on the season, but overall,
Arsenal in Europe, but cool. Go on.
And I don't give a fuck. In Europe and Asia, they're gonna beat you. Roma is better. Roma is better than you. The teams that are gonna drop down from the Champions League would smoke you. You're saying target the Europa League and finish 5th. Yes. That's the worst way to think. Because
you said finish 5th. I never said finish 5th. I never said that should be the target.
Do you have what it takes to target the Europa League and finish top 4 on record right now?
No, I've already said it for the longest. No, we're not good enough.
So what does it mean then? So you don't finish.
I never said. I didn't say target again. Words matter. No. Words matter. I never said target 5th. I never said that. Them words have never left my mouth.
You said
I've never
target
said
the
that.
Europa League.
I didn't. Yes, I did. Yes.
Okay, step by
Europa
step.
League
You
and
said
fifth
target
is
the
different.
Europa League, correct?
Say that again. I did say target Europa
Step by
League.
step.
Yes.
Target the okay,
Yes.
100%. We agree.
Yes.
If you target the Europa League, can you get top 4?
We can't get the top 4 regardless. I don't think we're one of the 4 best teams in the league. I've said this.
Okay.
But that's not a target.
So by default, when you don't think you're gonna finish top 4, where are you gonna finish?
Say that again. We could finish 6th.
Doesn't matter, bro. Don't play that game. 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th. It doesn't matter. You are
it's
putting
not a
your
target
entire
team.
hopes. You are putting your hopes on the Europa League.
Yes,
when
100%.
a club named after a fertilizer almost beat you last week.
Okay.
Ammonium or whatever the fuck they're called.
Okay.
You
You
really
really
think
and what are you
can
wait?
do
And what are you
Roma,
targeting? And what
Jose
wait?
Mourinho,
And what are
or
you
even
targeting
any
this
of the
season?
Spanish
And
clubs?
what are
They
you
would
targeting
like
this
to
season?
follow you.
And what are you targeting this season?
Me?
And what are you targeting
I'm
this season?
targeting my
Liverpool.
mental health.
What are Liverpool
100%.
targeting this season? Let's go to
I'm
it. What are
targeting my
Liverpool
mental
targeting
health.
this
I
season?
want my mental health to
Hold
be
up.
happy.
What? So great Liverpool with Jurgen Klopp and all these generational players and all this. You're targeting no trophies.
Eventually. We're getting
So your
top 4.
target's top 4.
Yeah,
All that
100%.
money you spent, your target's top 4. So no
All that
trophies
money,
for
what?
Liverpool.
We have a net
No,
spend less
so
than
no
Bournemouth.
trophies. Wait. No trophies, nah. Is that what you're saying? Is
How
that
are
a
you
record?
talking about trophies?
Is
My
that
brother,
a
I
record?
did
No,
more trophies
answer
in the
no.
last 4
Answer the
months.
question. What are you targeting? So you're targeting
I
nothing,
have
yeah?
seen
What are you
more
targeting? No.
trophies in the last 4 months than you have seen in the last
Answer
5
the
years.
question. Answer the
Your
question. What are
beard
you
is gonna turn
targeting?
white before you
Answer
see a
the
trophy.
question,
Do you
innit?
realize
What are
that?
Liverpool targeting this season? Answer the question.
Liverpool,
What are
we're
Liverpool
gonna
targeting?
target the domestic cups. We're gonna try
So you're
win the
targeting the
Champions League. I
FA
don't
Cup
think
and
we
League
will.
Cup. Great, all that money you spent, £100 million striker, and you're targeting
We
domestic cups.
didn't pay £100 million.
Okay, 90 million, 80 million.
Why?
You know what I'm saying? In that
64 million
60
pounds.
million then in it with Jurgen Klopp,
64
and you're
million
targeting
pounds.
domestic cup
You cannot
competitions.
add add-ons
You was in for a
when he
quad.
hasn't even scored 2 goals.
One at a time. It's hard to clip this. It's not
Yeah.
easy to clip if
You
you
was
talk
in
over
for
each
you
other.
was in for
Right,
a
you got the
quad,
clip, the
and now you're
fertilizer, that'll
targeting
do.
and now you're targeting domestic cups. You know what I'm
Are you
saying?
done?
You was in for a quad last season, spent however much on this brand new striker, and you're targeting domestic cups. That's where we're going now. Domestic
Why are
cups
you,
and what
why
top
are you
4?
sweating? It's crazy.
You know what I'm saying? I'm
Why are
smiling.
you
You know what I'm
sweating?
saying? I can't believe
We're
that.
talking, Matisse.
To be fair,
on.
you guys spent 80 million on Anthony. You guys
Yep.
spent 60 million or something on Casemiro. You guys spent money on Malacia. The season before, you bought Sancho for 100 million. You also bought Varane.
Martinez.
You've
Yeah,
bought
we were talking
Ronaldo.
about City, it not being fair on
You
City
guys
because
have
of how
spent
much
a
City
lot
spend,
of
mad.
money, a lot, and
Yeah.
I
I'm
think
respond to this score.
so.
And you've won fuck all, not
We'll
FA
go to
Cup.
it. Go on.
Cup,
So-
Go
FA
on,
Cup.
let him respond. Go on. Let him finish.
So,
Let him
so
finish.
do you not feel like with the amount of money you've spent, you should be able to compete on 2 fronts? You should be able to compete for the top 4 and
Okay.
compete for Europa League at the same time. You don't think so?
I respond to that. No, because some of the players you just mentioned there, 1 are not good enough, and 2, money we spent poorly. We spent money poorly. Up until this season right now, we spent money poorly. How's that? Where you agree with that? What are we talking about? You agree with that? We haven't spent money well. Who thinks
What a
Manchester
trophy
United spent
for
money well?
Manchester United.
I'm
Big
saying we
Manchester
haven't spent money
United
well.
target
I'm
the
saying,
Europa
says you
League.
who's targeting FA Cup and League Cup.
Manchester
Sure, man.
United should
You
target the
targeting the
Europa
FA
League.
Cup and League Cup.
No, but
Sure,
according
man.
to you,
Sure, man.
I'm a smaller club than you. According to you.
Everyone's a smaller club than us. What's that got to do
No,
with anything?
that's not
What's
true.
that got to do with anything?
Liverpool are bigger
Obviously,
than Man
Man,
United.
Okay,
obviously,
cool.
Man United could still improve, right, as the season goes on.
Big
That's
up
true.
Mo Farah's
But
for the
there are
comment.
some big teams dropping in from Champions League this season potentially, so it will be very difficult. There will be Barcelona dropping in. There could be, there could be one of the
Ajax.
Milan clubs, Ajax. So it will be tough. It will be
Who
tough.
did you say? Sorry, name
Juventus.
the clubs again. Do you say
Barcelona
There's
could
loads,
drop
there's
in.
loads, there's
Barcelona?
loads.
Who?
Milan
Who else?
clubs. Is it Ajax as
I
well?
don't
Did you
rate
say
the Milan
that?
clubs. I don't rate these clubs.
Juventus,
But,
Ajax.
we move.
You don't
Juventus
rate-
as well, another one.
The Milan clubs, no, I don't rate the 2 Milan clubs. Ajax, I've not
Inter
seen a
would
lot
wipe
of.
the
But
floor with them.
I'm
another
saying,
one,
okay,
sorry,
cool. You
Atletico.
could say that.
Atletico.
That could
Atletico
completely
could still-
shithouse their way
They
through
could
the
still go
Europa
through
League.
though. They could still
They
go
could
through
just
that group.
disrespect with shithouse
No.
football.
They
the
could
whole
still go
Europa
through
League,
their
to be
group.
fair.
They could still go through in their group. I swear that 3 of the
Yeah,
teams are on 3 points.
the best game. If anyone wants to see violence, the last game of that group is Porto with Pepe, right, against Atletico Madrid. That is going to be pure violence. Like Pepe's just because remember pre-season Pepe lost his head with the whole of the Atletico Madrid team. So there will be a lot dropping through. But I think if Atletico don't go through, they'll just completely disrespect that whole tournament and win it. The Europa League for me, playing
100%.
shit football.
Well, yeah,
All right.
but back to you before you go, Matisse. Yeah, back to your point. We spent money poorly, so that's why we're underbilled again. You have to. That's mentioned it earlier. You have to spend money to catch up. Just because you spent money doesn't necessarily mean you compete. You have to
You've been
spend
trying
money
to
well.
catch up for 10 years, though.
Yeah, I know, because we spent money poorly for 10 years. Your club's won 1 league title in 32 years. You know about spending money poorly. That's my point.
Fine by me. We won one.
Yeah, it's of course it's
We
fine
won
by
one.
you. You accept
We won
mediocrity. I know
You
this.
ain't
You know what I'm
see-
saying?
you
I
ain't seen
don't.
shit in
But we
5,
move.
6
You know
years.
what I'm saying?
That's
Say again?
That's why That's why I've never seen you this active. You ain't won shit in 5, 6 years. That's
Say
why.
that again?
The FA.
I know we haven't.
The FA Cup
I
that you're
defend my-
mocking. The FA Cup that you're mocking, your club would bend over backwards. Yada
Yeah, they
yada
would.
yada yada.
Absolutely. I'm not mocking it. It's for
You
you.
get me?
You're supposed to be big bad Liverpool with Jurgen Klopp and all this.
We are
for a
big bad
quad. Now you're
Liverpool. The
targeting
I'm not gonna
What
lie.
is it?
Both of you are meant to be big and bad. You're both meant to be the
Nah,
biggest clubs in this
we-
country.
The most
So
trophies in
But the
England,
thing is,
Liverpool
we're big.
Football Club.
No, Matisse.
right now, I'm
We
just
are
seeing
the
a
most
pissing
by the way.
contest right now. Is what I'm
Matisse.
watching.
Here
Me and Daps
Matisse,
just
Little
watching the
cities.
two. Me and Daps just watching the two big footballing giants, massive institutions, biggest
time,
clubs in this
brother.
country, fighting and squabbling over, you know, Europa League success, second grade European competition. Which, by the way, you should just be walking. You should be winning that outright. Both times my team's been in that competition, we've won it. By the way, just to say, and a Liverpool team that season was over in September in terms of the title.
Here's the
race.
thing
So
is, Matisse.
both of you are gonna have to hold that
It
respectfully.
wasn't over in
But
September,
Matisse,
it was over in
But Matisse,
Over
before
in
you get,
August.
I got a question before we
but
come
before
to an
you,
end. But
yeah,
go on.
let's
before
wrap
you
it
go,
up.
before you go, I've already said we should target that competition, and I think we'll win it. I've said that.
Okay,
I've
we
said
got
that
it.
already.
Yeah, you should.
I've
One
said
of
that
you
with
are
chest,
Arsenal.
innit?
Yeah, 100%.
I'm not Hassam talking about, oh, maybe in January if we do this and that. No, I'm saying we should win that competition.
Okay,
100%. That's what you said. What do you
Let
mean?
me
Okay,
ask you, though,
you said that.
let me ask you,
okay,
because we got
go
to
on.
wrap up soon, because I know
Go on,
Ballon d'Or. I don't know. Sam's got to run to the Ballon d'Or to see
I
who
have
wins
players
that.
involved in it, unlike any of
Yeah.
bummy clubs. So yeah.
Which you know, let me not get into it. Not getting into that right now. Is one of your players in contention to win it, like properly?
Two players are going to be in the top 5. I will take that victory.
Fair enough. I'm not gonna lie. We had Jorginho in there. I don't really care about Ballon d'Or anymore. Let's ask Flawless this last question. You got Tottenham and Chelsea in the same week. You confident? How you feeling for those?
Yeah, the Spurs game, yes. Will it be easy? No. Will either game be easy? Absolutely not. You know what I'm saying? But I'm confident of Spurs. Going to your place, I'm hoping Brentford take points off of you lot, because you lot seem to be in good. I know your performance wasn't the best against Villa, but you've been picking up results. Potter's undefeated. So, you know what I'm saying? And that, like, yes, I'm still confident of going, because we have a good record. I mentioned it earlier. Records matter. You know what I'm saying? And that records matter. And we have a good record there. So we have a good record at your place, and you like ain't beat us in the league in a minute. So yeah, I'm confident going into both games, 100%. I've been confident this
You got a
season
message.
going into
Before-
both games.
I haven't seen any messages. I'm perplexed. I'm glad I wore my suit. I feel
I
like,
don't know if you are after the message I just got from Steve.
I don't give a shit. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, if man them think I just come from court, do you know what I mean? Obviously,
No.
trials and that. Daps, before we wrap up, bro, any final thoughts, and let the people know where to find you, bro?
No final thoughts. Things got a bit more interesting. Last night was a long night, long night, facing every single Liverpool fan out there that I sent for in the morning. But yeah, never a foul. Love the show, Matisse, as usual, and keep up the good work. And you two, one day we will do a show where Husam and Flawless don't end up arguing, but I don't know when it'll be.
The thing is, we always will. It doesn't matter where our teams are. We always will. Like, that's what
This is
people
real. This is real rivalry. This is real rivalry. This is why
19th, and we would argue.
This is rivalry.
This is real rivalry. This is why I say Manchester United and Man City is not a bigger rivalry than Manchester United and Liverpool. And I'm going to stand by
It's
that.
a different type of rivalry. But again, I'll be 100.
froze.
What we saw yesterday on that, though, does show
Yes,
that this is a Manchester Liverpool thing. Like,
I like that. More of that.
Manchester and Liverpool, no matter what anyone, the ends don't get on in it. It's as simple as
I'm
that.
not saying that you man should dash coins at Pep's bald head and that. You know what I'm saying?
No. There should be no physical.
No violence.
No violence.
None.
It had a little bit more. There was a little bit more of an
verbal.
atmosphere. There's something more venom in the air.
Not
I
coin,
like
like-
Pep.
Maybe £1 notes.
Pep maybe at Anfield. One thing is, don't piss off the fans, because it was like the minute Pep started getting, it's like, bro, don't do that. But yeah, no, thanks for having me. Never a foul. Just keep watching this, and yeah, love.
There you go. Link in the description, guys. Flawless, bro. Let them know where to find you, bro.
Yo, Saka, Yeah, man, it's always good being on here, man. And like I say, I love this. Like, this is why I love this show. Is me and Husam going back and forth. Like, it is real, like rivalry in it, like 100%. I can't stand this team. He can't stand my team, and this show will forever be like this. People, you know what I'm saying? And that. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, Sarcasm City TV as well. Make sure you subscribe to me on YouTube, Sarcasm City TV. Follow on the Twitch as well, yo. And obviously, I've got all the comments on as well, yo. I know how, you know what I'm saying, how much I hear all you Liverpool, Arsenal fans in the comments. Hold that, you know what I'm saying, and that. Hold that. I'm glad you lot are here with all flawless, this and that. Because I piss you lot off in it. I love it. Hold that, you know what I'm saying. How am I crying by telling him to hold that? You know what I'm saying? You can hold that too. You know, our season's over. You know what I'm saying? Our season's over.
We beat Ammonia
before it started. I said it. Our season's over.
We beat Ammonia.
Sure, man. Our season's over. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, it's my time
to trophy.
Are you gonna win a trophy this season? Know where to
before we go, are you gonna win a trophy this season?
No, there's no before we go.
Liverpool gonna win a trophy this season.
Liverpool
gonna win a trophy. No.
Anyway, guys,
gonna win a trophy this season.
For watching Battle of the North.
Yeah, that's a no, innit?
Yeah, fantastic show once again. You know, I love arguing with the guy who hasn't seen a trophy in 5 years. Flawless, pick up to him. You know, it is still my favorite show to do every week.
Well, win one this season, you won't.
I can absolutely rattle a Man United fan. Big up to everyone in the comment section who clearly see who was victorious today, because everyone's like, Flawless is rattled, Flawless is sweating.
There are people who don't like me. That's nothing to do with you.
That's crazy. You know,
that's
today,
nothing to do. That's nothing to do with you. They don't like me.
Find me, brother.
Nah. You can't. Not if you're gonna lie. They don't like me. It's nothing to do with you. You know what I'm saying?
Why are you
it's nothing to do with you.
Can I finish?
Why would I sweat? You know what I'm saying? I'm cool.
I would tell you there's a new deodorant in EVM.
Why are you watching my perspiration, man? That's weird, man. That's strange, man. That's weird. Anyway, but we move.
Anyway, as I was saying, you get me. Just like my club, I was back on fine form in the stream. You
but you're gonna win nothing, though.
Roasted, Flawless, and Daps and everyone. They're just amazing. What? So this was my favorite show. You get me on the week as per usual. You can find me at This Is Football. I'm going live literally as soon as the stream ends. A Ballon d'Or ceremony, and you can find me on Twitter. This is my @ if you want to follow me and listen to the infamous spaces that Flawless always talks about every week. So tune in and big up to everyone. Make sure you follow everyone on this stream as well. Subscribe to everyone's channel. Follow them on all social media platforms. Absolutely great guys, man. So big up to everyone on the panel.
There you go, guys. I don't know how I didn't book anybody today.
Before you go, when I say you lot don't like me in the chat, I'm talking football.
Matisse, red card. What is this?
I don't know how. I haven't booked.
Give this brother a red card.
We are wrapping up. We are wrapping up. We are wrapping up. If you would like to continue to beef.
No, I don't want to beef the chat. When I'm saying
I'm going to leave you for an
outtake. Matisse, one sec. Matisse, just one more thing. Matisse, one more thing. No, Matisse, one more thing. I beg. Matisse, I beg. One more thing, yo. Yo, big up the chat, man.
3, 2, 1, start.
All right, Flawless, go on, do what you want to do.
Man left it live, you know. It's a good job I didn't get up at anything. Yo, love to the chat, man. That's all I wanted to say in it. When I say you don't like me, I'm talking footballing wise, in it. Pantomime villain stuff, man. I'm joking with you, man, in it. Big up the chat every single time. That's all I wanted to say in it. Big up you, up, man.
In a bit, people. Peace. Oh God. Guys, that's it. We're done. Subscribe, smash up the likes in a bit. Thank you for the support as always. Big up your damn selves. Bye-bye.